welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something like a little bit more serious. Not like really serious, but just something that's not so much in keeping with the rest of my videos that are more like light-hearted and for entertainment purposes. This video is more like almost an advice video for anybody out there that is suffering or going through the same as I am. I'm sure you can tell already by the title of this video, it's not mental health issues or anything like that, it's IBS. So I suffer quite severely with IBS, and it's completely different to IBD, which I'm pretty sure most people know anyway. IBD, which is inflammatory bowel disease, is Crohn's and colitis. IBS is irritable bowel syndrome, which is something different, although the symptoms are very, very similar. It's not quite as bad, or I don't want to say life-threatening, but you can control IBS a lot better than you can IBD. I wanted to put the point out there that IBS isn't just something to kind of be looked over and brushed away. It's really horrible to live with. So I'm going to be basically telling you my story today, and hopefully somebody out there might find this helpful. Anyway, if you want to see that, then just keep watching. So I've been suffering with IBS for quite a few years now, but it's only gotten really bad since 2014. Prior to 2014, I didn't know that I had IBS. I just knew that I had a little bit of a funny tummy, like if I ate too much, which I did kind of think was normal. Obviously, if you eat a lot of food, you're going to need to go to the toilet afterwards. But since 2014 is when, for me, it kind of got more serious than that, and it started to really affect my day-to-day life. So I do just want to point out that I know IBS is nowhere near as bad as IBD, as I already covered in the intro, but I just want people to know that it is something that is not nice, and it's really difficult to try and get that across to people that don't suffer with it as it is. They don't quite understand, why can't you do this, why can't you do that? So that's kind of what I'm here to tell you about in this video. So like I said, 2014 is when it really got me badly. We were on holiday and we had a meal, and like I said prior to this, I knew that if I ate too much I was going to have to go to the bathroom afterwards. So I always not limited myself, but I only ever ate until I was comfortably full. Whereas before I would eat and eat and eat and eat, I would be full up but I'd still keep eating, and then I switched it to I would just eat until I was comfortably full. However, on this particular day on holiday, I ate just a normal size meal. I don't even think I finished it. I wasn't really that full up. I could have gone for ice cream or something afterwards. And we were just walking around, and all of a sudden I was like, I've got to go to the toilet. And I got this pain in my stomach. The only way for me to describe it is if somebody had grabbed your muscle and done that with it, like twisted it over. That's the pain I got. It was the most severe cramp right in the bottom of my stomach and around my back, and I had to go to the toilet like that. There was no like, oh, maybe I can hold it in. It had to come out right then. Luckily, there was a public toilet like in one of the shops, so I just had to go in there. It was so embarrassing for me, and my family just kind of thought it was like a funny episode and they laughed about it, but for me, it was really embarrassing because it had never happened before and I literally could not hold it in. So if you haven't guessed by now, I'm obviously talking about having a poo, but it's not like normal. It happens like that so quick, and half the time you don't even know it's coming. And that's kind of when it really started for me. So I thought, oh, maybe that's just a one-off episode. However, throughout the rest of the holiday, it happened a few more times, and it would be like a few hours later, as in within 3 or 4 hours, I had to go to the toilet a good few times. It wasn't just that one not done. So I thought maybe I've gotten sick, which obviously was going to be my first instinct. I didn't think, oh, I've got IBS. I just thought I've gotten a bug or something. I've gotten sick. I've gotten a funny tummy. Turns out it wasn't that at all. It was IBS just starting up for me. Anyway, I'll fast forward to when we came back from holiday. During this 3-week period that we were away for, I lost probably close to a stone. If I can find some pictures of before we went and when I came home, I'll put them in here so you can see. So when we came home, sort of got a bit better, but I was still really careful with the food I ate and how much of it I ate. It was pretty bad, to be honest. It made me scared to eat because of what would happen afterwards, so I cut down my meals a lot. I would work all throughout the day and only have a handful of something to eat. So I worked in a kitchen and I would just eat a few chips, that would be it. I wouldn't have breakfast in the morning, I'd eat a few chips and then I'd go home and have my dinner, and I just kept losing more weight. I know you can just go to the toilet at work, but that's not something that I like to do because I feel embarrassed by it, and I think a lot of people do as well, especially women. So now I'm going to skip ahead probably about a year, and within this year my stomach was kind of fine. I did have a few funny turns. I went to the doctor, and the way that I was describing it to him, because I had a lot of burning going on as well, he said, I think it's acid reflux. So I was put on medication for acid reflux, which I thought helped, but I think maybe that was more a placebo thing because I thought, brilliant, I've got medication for it. Now with IBS, a lot of it's not in your head, but stress and anxiety brings it on a lot. Now, I'm not a very stressed out person, so I think when this happened, obviously I was getting stressed about it, but when the doctor thought it was acid reflux and gave me medication, that then calmed my mind down. I was like, I've got an answer, got medication, brilliant. And I know acid reflux and having IBS is two completely separate things. One's one end, one's the other end, quite literally. Because I was saying about the burning sensation, that's what we kind of decided it as, and my stomach was just a funny stomach. So I'm going to skip ahead again now to 2017, and this is when my IBS really kicked in. I was really poorly with it. Ironically, again on holiday, and I was with my friend this time. I've got a couple of story times on my channel about that holiday if you want to check it out. But while I was on holiday, same thing sort of happened. So like I said, I'd cut my meals down so that I wasn't eating so much, and on this holiday again I wasn't really eating that much because I was scared of what was going to happen. And there was this one day where I didn't really have anything to eat that much. I think I had like a sausage for breakfast from the buffet, and then lunch we went to a restaurant in a theme park and I had some calamari, literally just a starter of calamari, and then we went out for dinner before our food even came to the table. Bear in mind I hadn't eaten anything since lunchtime. I got this horrific pain in my stomach again, and I had to go to the toilet in the restaurant, and I was that night really poorly. I couldn't stop going to the toilet, and I thought, but I haven't even eaten anything since lunchtime, but it just kicked in whenever it wanted to. That was when I realised it was back. Now throughout this entire holiday I suffered with toilet problems, and I again lost weight because I was scared to eat. And anything I did eat was coming straight out of me again. It was horrible. I was having to go in public places, which, as I've already said, I absolutely hate. The only place I felt comfortable on holiday was in the hotel room. When I got back from holiday, it was actually my mum's birthday. We decided to go out for dinner for her birthday. It was the day I got back from Florida, and I'm going to tell you what I ate within that 24-hour period. So if you're not sure how the long haul flights kind of work, generally you have a night flight back from Florida to England. So we wake up about 8 o'clock and we get breakfast. And for my breakfast, I had a bagel, a plain bagel, no butter, no nothing, just a bagel, and I think I only ate half of it. From that point until I got home the following day, so it was about 8 o'clock, well, by the time I had breakfast, maybe 10 o'clock, and then we landed back in England and got home about 10 o'clock UK time, obviously 24 hours, but then you need to minus 5 hours for the time difference. So in 19 hours, I had half a bagel. I was starving, but when I got home, I just had a small something to eat because I knew we were going out for dinner that night. I had chicken for my dinner, ate about half of it, got the pain, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. Had to go straight to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom twice in the restaurant. I told my family I felt really sick and could we come home? I had to keep going to the bathroom when I came home. Basically, I never got better. This was every single day I was going to the bathroom between 5 and 12 times a day. It was waking me up in the night, I was feeling sick, and it was daily. Sometimes I'd have days where it wasn't so bad and I'd go 2 or 3 times a day, but most days it was a lot more than that. This was to the point where even if I ate a packet of crisps, I was straight in the toilet because it was just coming straight out of me. Eventually it got to the point where I needed to go to the doctor because I couldn't go into work. I couldn't leave the house. I lost about, how much did I lose? Almost 1.5 stone within a very, very short amount of time. Everybody was commenting that I looked sick. My face was all kind of shrunken in. My waist had gone really small. People were just saying that I didn't look healthy, so I had to go to the doctor. Now the doctor obviously arranged for some tests, and I'm not really going to go into those, but you can research them. They were worried that I had Crohn's or ulcerative colitis because there is a history of stomach problems in my family, and my uncle, or like my great uncle, has ulcerative colitis, so it could be in the blood. Now the reason they didn't suggest IBS straight away was because I had to do, I don't know how to make this sound very nice, but I had to do a sample for them, and they found that there was inflammation in my large intestine. Now when there's inflammation somewhere in the GI tract, it normally means it's something more than IBS, because IBS, like I've already said, is irritable bowel syndrome, whereas IBD is inflammatory bowel disease. So they were finding inflammation, which was kind of a red alert. It was more inflammatory bowel disease as opposed to irritable bowel syndrome, because I had inflammation in my GI tract. So they sent me off for some tests. However, they came back clear. I didn't have Crohn's, I didn't have ulcerative colitis. So we were now back to kind of square one, where we didn't know what it was, and it was just considered severe IBS. The inflammation that they found, they sort of sourced that this came from an infection that I'd had while I was on holiday, and this could have happened in 2014 as well as 2017, although 2017 I was much, much sicker than I was in 2014. I was drinking a lot of the fountain water in the parks. This, if you know Florida or Orlando or countries like that, you shouldn't really drink that water because it's not filtered and it can have a lot of bacteria living in it. The doctor sort of concluded that I got an infection from this, and if you don't know, infection causes inflammation. They think that's what's happened, and that's why there was inflammation in my GI tract, because I had an infection there. Antibiotics weren't really getting rid of it because it was irritable bowel syndrome, but there is inflammation in my gut. And that is now a year on, where I still am. I still suffer with it. I will admit that it's not quite as bad, but it's a daily thing that I suffer with, so I have to take a couple of things. I've tried almost every single medication for it, but nothing seems to help. I was taking Mebeverine, it wasn't doing anything. I started taking probiotics called Acidophilus, but nothing was happening. So now I have to rely on Imodium. Now these little babies here save my life. I'm not even joking. They are the only thing that keep me going to work, because if I didn't take them, I'd be shitting myself every day. You just pop one on your tongue, or normally 2, and they just melt and it slows down your digestive tract. On top of Imodium, I also take these. They are Buscopan. They help the pain. Now I have been to the doctor because I was concerned that I'm taking too much Imodium, and they said although I shouldn't really take that much, it's not unsafe to. But it's the only thing I can take that will help me in any kind of way. So if I wake up in the morning and I feel good and I don't need to go to the toilet before I go to work, I won't take them. However, if I wake up in the morning, I will know if I'm going to have a bad stomach that day, because I get the horrible crampy feeling. My stomach burns and I need to go to the toilet probably 2 or 3 times before I even leave the house. Now I get up at 6:40 in the morning and I leave at 7:40. So within that hour, I've already been to the toilet 2 or 3 times. And that's without eating anything. When that happens, I will take 2 or 3 Imodium, I'll take a couple of Buscopan, and I'll go to work with them in my bag, so I've always got them on hand. There have been some days where I've had to take Imodium 3 or 4 days in a row because it's just as bad the next day. So because of this, it now makes me not ever want to go out for a meal. If I get invited to go out, I just say no. Most of my friends and family know what problems I have anyway, so they're just cool about it. They're like, that's fine, we'll get a takeaway or eat in. If I get invited to like a birthday or it's a special occasion and I can't really say no to it because of what might happen, I have to take Imodium before I go out, because I'm so worried in my head it's going to happen if I don't take Imodium. I just have to take it. And it makes things so difficult because I know it's just in your head, but it might happen. Like, I might have to just run to the bathroom and keep going as soon as I eat something. So on top of the needing to go to the toilet a lot and the pain and the cramping, I also get extreme bloating. Now I know that everybody bloats when they eat food, but I could eat a chocolate bar and look 3 or 4 months pregnant. I, for some reason, just blow extremely badly. Anytime I eat, if I'm wearing jeans or a skirt with a button, I need to undo it because I'm going to bloat, and this is for the smallest amount of food. And I've got a picture of this, so I'll put it in here so you can see it. I know this looks like I'm pushing out, but I promise you I'm not. That's my stomach when I eat food. It just bloats, it's rock hard, and it's quite painful. I feel sick, but that's just something that happens, and I can't really do anything about that. I don't really know now where I'm going to go with this video because it's probably already quite long, but I just wanted to make it for anybody out there who's also suffering with IBS and can't get across to people how bad it actually is. Now with Crohn's colitis, so IBD, it can get to the point where you need a stoma, so where they take out your large intestine and your small intestine comes out of your stomach and you have a bag. So you literally will never need to go to the toilet because it comes out of your stomach into a bag. You get a lot of scarring up the GI tract. It's very bad, IBD. IBS, like I've already said, is not like that, but it can still be horrible. I know with IBD you tend to go to the toilet a lot more than you do with IBS, so imagine more than 12 times a day. For me, on bad days, within 2 hours, I've been 5 times before in the morning, within 2 hours. Not eating anything, it's just that bad. So if there is anybody watching this video that suffers with it like I do, let me know. I hope this video kind of helps you know that you're not alone with it. If you didn't already know about Imodium and Buscopan, get them. They are your lifesavers. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to end this video, I think. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button down below. Check out some of my other videos which aren't so like serious. They're a bit more fun, a bit more energetic. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!